Thanks for tuning into the GridCenter. This is our Week 4 recap show. I am your host, Shane Falco, along with my special guest host, Big D. He is filling in for the injured co-host, Don King, who may or may not be actually hurt and who may or may not have his pride and feelings hurt from a certain topic of Game of the Week last week. We'll see how that plays out. We'll see how he appears on Sunday. What do you have for the upcoming games of the week this week there, Big D?
All right, we got in the SEC, we have Sickwood and TMT. This game will not disappoint. This game starts at 5 o'clock. I suggest you guys get down there and get your tickets because it's going to be packed. And stick with it. You know, they're strong. They had a strong showing in the tournament. TMT also, I think TMT went to the semifinals and lost to a team that wound up winning the whole thing in Denver. But nevertheless, you know, these teams are going to smack the crap out of each other, and it's just it's Sickwood and TMT. You know, it's going to be a good game if Clee's there. If he's not, I can't call it. Next, we got Big 12. We got the Zebras and Empire. That game's going to be 2 o'clock. Once again, Empire came out last week. You know, got the new uniforms. They got Josh. I mean, Josh touched the ball every given moment. He had crazy stats, which you can check out the Big 12. Then you got the Zebras, who won in overtime. Great game. One of the young kids made a fantastic catch back in the end zone overtime, and that pretty much set the guys apart. You guys want to get down and see that game too. It's a must-win for Empire. They got the new uniforms. They got to win now. In the Big 10, we got second to none in the Bulldogs. Sherm's put together a nice crew, and they got the Bulldogs. They run the spread. I pretty much don't know too much about spreads. You know, Falco can break that down for you. But these guys are winning. They're both undefeated, and they both want to put a stamp, put their mark on who's going to be the best in the Big 12. In the Mountain West, we got Wreckage and Hitman. Wreckage, very, very athletic team. I think they're missing their best receiver at quarterback. I can't remember the guy's name. You know, skinny, tall. Oh, yeah, it doesn't matter anyway. They're going against the Hitman. One of my favorite players. He has the best hairstyle known to mankind in flag football. I mean, this guy runs around. Hair does not move at all. I love that guy. He's Hitman. He's a good guy. That game's at 12 if you want to check that out. And in Packtown, we got Weekend Warriors and the Ringers. That's at 9 o'clock. And for all you guys that party, you guys probably won't see that game. But I'll be there because I'm on staff. You have anything to input with that?
Well, covering the second on Bulldogs game, I know your little comment there was a hint at sandbagging, but it's not for the best in the Big 12, it's for the best in the Big 10. So I just want to go ahead and point that out for you. I definitely agree that the Zebras Empire game is going to be a very entertaining game to watch. You got a very dynamic offense, and then you got you know, the defensive coordinating guru in Joe.
That's great.
And I mean, Sickwood at TMT. What can you say? I mean, it's Lakers, Celtics, it's Red Sox, Yankees. I mean, it is what it is. It's the best rivalry in Vegas. It's one of the best games to watch, no matter regular season, postseason. It's always a great game when they get together. I mean, it's never a disappointment. Anytime I watch them two play, it's never a disappointment, no matter who wins. Definitely one of the best games, and I really can't see Clee missing that game. I really can't. I understand it's regular season, but I just don't see him missing that game.
I don't see anybody better not.
No. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens. And I believe Wreckage was their former QB. His name was Terrell Medlock.
Yeah.
And I believe he's got a job thing this season. That's why he's not currently on that team. Mm-hmm. So our coach Don King had to fill in and then get pulled at the end of the game last week.
He's injured.
So he's injured. He is. He's hurt. So he had to miss that game.
They win?
No, he didn't. They didn't win. Rumor has it that Shane told the offensive line not to block because he wanted to make a switch and he didn't want to come out. So they said, don't block him, so we'll get hurt.
And somebody hit him.
Okay. But I don't know. We'll see.
It's likely.
It is. We'll have to go to the video for that one.
Definitely.
Okay. Well, top three in each conference here, rankings-wise. In the SEC, I got TMT, the Bad Boys, after a big win over Sickwood. And I think inspired by my co-host Don King's comments of them getting blown out, really got them fired up, and their defense really came to battle and held Sickwood to 8 points. A lot of talent on Sickwood to hold down 8 points, so very impressive job there. And then Sickwood comes in at number 3. In the Big 12, I got the Force at number 1, Body Count, team you know a little bit about, at number 2. And Zebras, they're number 3. Not really getting a lot of love all around, but they're a team that just impresses me when I watch them play. I'm an offensive guy. I play offense, so I like to watch offensive teams. In the Big Ten, second to none at number 1. We got Barack Obama playing QB there, doing a real good job. Moving from one of the better receivers, playing some QB. So what can you say?
Yeah.
Lockdowns at number 2. They have the best QB in the conference with Brad. He's putting on a show so far, stats-wise, but the strength of schedule just isn't as impressive as second to none. So it should be a real good game when those two get together. Hopefully the Bulldogs, who are number 3, can give second to none all they can handle. We'll see what happens in that game. In the Mountain West right now, GBA is at number 1. Right now, it's like a well-oiled machine. They're just steamrolling people. It was a 2-score game against the Shockers last week, but the Shockers were actually leading that game with just a couple minutes left of the game, and I think that 8-man Ironman football they're playing just wears them out down the stretch, and they couldn't hold up. And GBA came out on top, but they're doing what good teams do, and they're winning by a lot. The Razorbacks moved to number 2 thanks to the Wreckage's loss to the Pac-10 team. Our fearless leader said that Weekend Warriors would be too physical for Wreckage, and well, apparently they were too physical for our little QB co-host as he left the game with an injury. So Wreckage will fall to number 3 in the conference, but still not too far out. I mean, they're still, I think, the best team in the conference. Right now, they just, record-wise and rankings-wise, are down at number 3. In the Pac-10, the Weekend Warriors, again, beat up on Wreckage. It was a very good, clean game. Really couldn't say much about it. Weekend Warriors were just better on that particular day, and they are undefeated at this point. Savages surprised at number 2. Big win over the upstart Ringers. Ringers fell to number 3 in the rankings. I really thought they were going to give a little bit more of a game than that. The way they've been playing, they've been putting on a lot of points, and they just didn't show up for this week. See how they bounce back with a tough matchup with the Weekend Warriors.
You know what? I seen that game. I watched the game, and once you get that ball in the red zone 8 times and can only get 1 touchdown, you can't win.
Yeah, that's very true. You got to score in the red zone. I mean, that's why some people don't like to call it the red zone. Some people like to call it the green zone. So once you get in, you got to score. I mean, it's not like we kick field goals. You want maybe 2-3 teams that kick field goals. I actually believe your team can kick field goals.
Yeah.
So didn't you win by a field goal this week?
We also lost by extra point, but we don't want to talk about that either.
Yeah, we won't talk about that. It's, we don't want to bring up old shit. So that's going to pretty much talk about what we have this week. If you want a little more detail, you want to talk about your conference's individual standout performers and the full in-depth rankings and the spreads for your games this week, go to your individual conference. That's going to wrap it up. I'm Shane Falco and my co-host Big D, aka Evil Star, and thanks for tuning in.